Have you ever stopped to think about how intelligence, this highly valued and admired ability, can be a double-edged sword? In a world where intellect is often celebrated as one of humanity's greatest assets, it can also become a source of resentment and envy. The ability to think critically and innovatively places us in a position of prominence, but it can also isolate us, generating feelings of inferiority in others. This is where Arthur Schopenhauer comes in, one of the most influential philosophers of the 19th century, known for his insightful and often somber view of human nature. Schopenhauer not only recognized the power of intelligence, but also understood the challenges it brings to social coexistence. In his practical approach to everyday life, he offers us a surprising strategy: the art of playing the fool. In this video, we will explore how this idea can be applied to navigate complex social dynamics, avoiding conflicts and promoting more harmonious coexistence. Get ready to dive into Schopenhauer's wisdom and discover how apparent simplicity can be a powerful ally in the art of living. Intelligence is undoubtedly one of the most striking characteristics that distinguish humans in the animal kingdom. It is through intelligence that we build civilizations, develop technologies, and explore the mysteries of the universe. It is no wonder that many of us feel a deep pride in our intellectual capabilities. This ability to reason, create, and innovate places us on a pedestal, highlighting us as beings of unique complexity. However, as Arthur Schopenhauer astutely observed, this same intellectual superiority can be a source of tension and conflict. In his reflections, Schopenhauer pointed out that intelligence not only elevates but also isolates, provoking a desire for revenge in those who feel overshadowed by it. He argues that the perception of a superior mind can awaken feelings of inadequacy and hostility in others, creating an environment where envy and resentment flourish. Thus, while intelligence positions us as natural leaders, it also places us in a vulnerable position where admiration can quickly turn into animosity. In this context, the wisdom of playing the fool emerges as a strategy to mitigate these risks, allowing social coexistence to be more harmonious and less conflictual. Arthur Schopenhauer, with his keen insight into human nature, often advised a strategic withdrawal from society as an effective means of cultivating and developing personal talents. He believed that away from social distractions and pressures, an individual could truly explore their intellectual and creative potential. However, Schopenhauer also recognized that living in society is an inevitable part of human existence. Social interaction is not only necessary, but also enriching, offering learning and growth opportunities that isolation cannot provide. It is in this dilemma between the need to withdraw and the inevitability of integrating that Schopenhauer proposes an intriguing solution: the art of playing the fool. In situations where displaying intelligence might generate conflict or resentment, he suggests that adopting a posture of simplicity can be an effective strategy. By downplaying one's intellectual superiority, an individual can avoid arousing envy or hostility, facilitating a more peaceful and harmonious coexistence. This approach is not an invitation to mediocrity, but rather a tactic for social survival, allowing one to navigate complex human dynamics without unnecessary friction. Thus, Schopenhauer offers us a valuable lesson on how to balance the pursuit of personal development with the need to coexist in society. Intelligence, with all its brilliance and potential, can be a powerful catalyst for resentment and envy. When we encounter someone whose intellectual capacity surpasses our own, it is natural for feelings of inadequacy and inferiority to arise. This dynamic is an intrinsic part of the psychology of ressentiment, where the perception of another's superiority can become a mirror reflecting our own insecurities. Imagine a casual conversation among colleagues where one of them, unintentionally, demonstrates deep knowledge about a complex subject. While most may admire this display of intellect, for some this situation can trigger a negative emotional reaction. The individual who feels inferior may begin to harbor feelings of hatred, not only towards the person in question, but also towards themselves for not measuring up. This resentment can manifest in various ways, from sarcastic comments to attempts to undermine the other's credibility. Schopenhauer, with his deep understanding of human nature, recognized this phenomenon and saw it as a reason to adopt the strategy of playing the fool. By softening one's intelligence in social interactions, it is possible to avoid triggering these emotional responses in others, promoting a more welcoming and less competitive environment. This approach not only protects the individual from potential hostilities, but also facilitates a more harmonious coexistence, where the focus can be directed towards collaboration and mutual growth rather than destructive rivalries. Envy is a complex emotion that can be triggered by various forms of perceived superiority, whether material or intellectual. When we talk about inherited wealth, envy often arises from the perception that someone possesses financial advantages without having done anything to earn them. This sense of injustice can be easily compared to the envy of intelligence, where a person's intellectual capacity is seen as an innate advantage, something that cannot be acquired or replicated through effort or dedication. Intelligence, like inherited wealth, is often perceived as an arbitrary gift, distributed unequally and therefore unjustly. For those who feel less intellectually endowed, this perception can generate deep resentment. The idea that someone can navigate life more easily, solve problems more efficiently, or earn admiration and respect due to their intelligence can be a bitter pill to swallow. The wisdom of playing the fool is a strategy that deeply resonates with the philosophy of Arthur Schopenhauer and finds an echo in the words of the Spanish thinker Balthasar Gracian, who stated, "To be well liked, one must wear the skin of the simplest of animals." This quote encapsulates the idea that often apparent simplicity can be a powerful tool for gaining acceptance and avoiding conflict in a world where intelligence can easily become a source of tension. Schopenhauer, throughout his life, learned this lesson the hard way. In a revealing letter from his mother, he was confronted with the reality that his brilliant intelligence, instead of always being admired, often generated resentment and isolation. His mother, a woman of great insight, advised him to moderate the display of his intellectual superiority, suggesting that humility and modesty could open doors that intellectual arrogance only closed. This personal experience of Schopenhauer illustrates the importance of adopting a posture of simplicity in social interactions. By wearing the skin of the simplest of animals, as Gracian suggests, an individual can disarm potential hostilities and create a more welcoming and collaborative environment. This strategy is not about underestimating one's intelligence, but about wisely choosing when and how to demonstrate it. By doing so, it is possible to avoid arousing envy and resentment, promoting more harmonious and authentic relationships. Thus, the wisdom of playing the fool reveals itself not only as a tactic for social survival, but as an art of living that values peace and mutual understanding above the need for intellectual affirmation. The strategy of playing the fool, proposed by Schopenhauer, finds practical applications in various spheres of life, from politics to science, literature, and art. In each of these areas, the ostentatious display of intelligence or talent can paradoxically become an obstacle, generating resistance and envy instead of admiration and support. In political life, for example, the ability to connect with the public often outweighs the need to demonstrate intellectual superiority. Politicians who adopt a more accessible and less intimidating posture tend to gain the trust and support of the masses, while those who stand out for their erudition may be seen as distant or elitist. Here, Schopenhauer's wisdom manifests in the ability to simplify complex ideas and present oneself in a way that resonates with the common citizen. In the field of science, where merit should be the main criterion for recognition, the reality is that mediocrity can be more easily accepted than true genius. Scientists who can communicate their discoveries clearly and modestly without intimidating their peers often find more success in obtaining funding and institutional support. Schopenhauer's strategy suggests that by minimizing one's superiority, it is possible to avoid rivalries and foster a collaborative environment. In literature and art, the display of exceptional talent can be seen as a threat to those who feel less gifted. Authors and artists who adopt a more humble approach in their creations and interactions with the public, and critics, often manage to navigate the complex dynamics of the cultural world more effectively. Mediocrity, being less threatening, is often more well received, while true merit can become the target of criticism and resistance. Thus, the practical application of Schopenhauer's advice to play the fool is not just a matter of social survival, but a strategy for achieving success and acceptance in a world where mediocrity is often more palatable than excellence. By adopting this approach, it is possible not only to avoid conflicts, but also to create a space where true talent can flourish in a more subtle and effective manner. Throughout this video, we explored the profound lessons of Arthur Schopenhauer on social coexistence and the intriguing art of playing the fool. Schopenhauer, with his keen understanding of human nature, showed us that intelligence, while a gift, can also be a source of tension and conflict. Through his own experience and the words of thinkers like Balthasar Gracian, we learned that adopting a posture of simplicity can be an effective strategy for navigating complex social dynamics, whether in politics, science, literature, or art. The ability to downplay one's intellectual superiority can disarm envy and resentment, promoting a more harmonious and collaborative environment. These lessons are not just about avoiding conflicts, but also about creating a space where true merit can flourish subtly and effectively. By wearing the skin of the simplest of animals, as Gracian suggests, we can find acceptance and success in a world that often prefers mediocrity to ostentatious excellence. If you found these ideas interesting and wish to deepen your understanding of Schopenhauer and other influential thinkers, we invite you to explore more videos on our channel. Discover how psychology can offer valuable insights into happiness, the importance of solitude, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe to continue this journey of learning and reflection with us. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you soon in our upcoming videos.